Greetings and welcome to episode 275 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly, whatever that I usually say, about with video games. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander, joined this week by Daffin Moody. Hello.
Citizens of the nerdy world, do not press that dial because we got a jam-packed show of gaming news for you. Because it's Monday. You know what that means.
It's definitely Monday. Couldn't possibly be any other day.
You mean people can see you this week?
I know I'm back. I'm on camera. It's not finished, but it's getting there. What do you think?
Well, I already seen it, so it was pretty good. I think it's really good.
Good. I'm glad. I feel like everything's at an angle. Like
everything is on an angle.
It looks like I'm like like that, right? Yeah. But like I shouldn't be. Everything's straight. Apart from me.
Are you really?
apart from me. But you know, everything else is straight. You don't get it. But hey ho, I might mess around with cameras and angles and stuff over the next few weeks till I get it the way I want it. But this will do for now. I got my microphone on the microphone arm.
Yeah.
Hands free. No more like holding the
jazz hands
thing. My Among Us plush is finally on camera. I got the flag up. I got my octoplush, which I can be like. It can be grumpy, or it can be happy, and I'm gonna put that right behind me in the correct configuration for doing this podcast. But I also got these coasters, and they're like NES cartridges. And there's lots of them, and half of them are Mario.
You would think there would be another game, but... Sure, Nintendo did other games, but who knows?
I got Zelda one too. Zelda.
Oh yeah, there's one.
Metroid.
No, there's another one.
Excite Bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo. And like, yeah, it's all cool. Like most of the stuff behind me isn't new. It'll look new because it's never been on camera before. So, like the alien, the face hugger, that was just always on top of my Xbox. So like when I was doing podcasts before, I was like I could see it the entire time.
Cool.
And I got the PlayStation light plugged in, and I've got some lights to go behind me. So at the moment, I'm using my lamp. It's too bright.
You haven't turned the PlayStation light on?
It's not plugged in. I haven't plugged it in. I literally just said I'll plug the PlayStation light in. I accidentally plug it in. I'm not plugging it in now.
Go on, we got time.
I haven't got a plug. The whole reason it's not plugged in is because there's no plug.
It was basically in the same position it was. Just moved a little bit.
But the plugs haven't moved. The plugs have moved. The plugs are like over a year now, somewhere. Right, he's just everybody should hydrate. It's a good tip.
That's why Amy's drinking poison.
What's the t-shirt?
Best in the world.
Wow. Someone's on an ego trip this week.
Step into my eyes.
Step into your eyes?
Oh, that's the wrong lyric. Look in my eyes. What do you see?
Is this like yellow? The yellow guy put a yellow in his yellow. From the latest Twitch highlights video over at youtube.com/WordsWithoutGamesUK.
It's not Susan Smith.
Yellow put his yellow in his yellow. Daffer Mooney, August 2021.
You said that was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then I was like, say that again. I don't understand.
When do you ever understand anything I say?
All the time, usually. I'm so satisfied being in this room, really.
You're so satisfied. That's the first time I've ever heard you satisfied being in your room.
I know, right? All I need is a lock on the door. But like, I've lived in it for like a week and a bit now since I've like moved everything around. It's just so satisfying. The space on the floor, like ignore the foot spa. That's not going to stay there. Like the TV's in a good place, and like I did my makeup moody, and I didn't have to do a commando roll over the bed and squeeze myself into the corner next to a window. I just rolled my chair over to the other desk, and it's all there.
The old PC
The
desk.
old desk, which is now a makeup / coloring / journaling station. And I've used it for all three things.
So what I've seen, it looks very, very good.
Yeah.
It looks clean for once, so that's good. That's why you feel good in it.
What do you mean for once?
I have to take slaps. I have to take snipes because my room looks like a pigsty right now. So like you've upped the game, so I have to now come back with my game upped.
Okay, this should be interesting.
Oh, it won't be anything because my partner won't allow me to move the room around again because I've done it like 10 times since we've moved here, and she gets hit. She gets really triggered if I move stuff.
My problem with moving stuff around is like the next idea is always better. Like
exactly, that's what I always say.
Not even in a like, oh, the next idea is like a motivational. So it's literally like I started off and it was shit, and since then, every time I've moved it around, it's been getting a little bit better.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I've peaked.
I think you have peaked right now, yeah. Until you find the next idea.
Short of literally demolishing that wall behind me to go into the next room. Like, there's nowhere for me to go. I'm literally jammed in as much as I can. Like, once I get some shelves there, like, there's nowhere to put anything ever again. On the plus side, though, your sound seems to have come back to normal, because last week we had an issue with your sound. Well, you sounded like a potato. And this week you sound fine. So I don't know what the crack was there. I'm guessing it was just Discord.
Probably Discord.
But you sound fine this week.
Well, that's good.
Maybe I was having hearing difficulties. And it was just like...
Maybe it was just your setup because you would change it all.
But I haven't done anything to it. Other than play 40 hours of Tales of Arise, I haven't done anything to my setup.
I know. Chris.
All right, should we jump on the podcast? The actual podcast.
Well, I'm happy just to talk random crap like
I don't know, but I like talking about video games and video game related incidents.
Oh, I can do that. I finished Waveslams.
I know, yeah. I've almost finished Tales.
Yay!
I want to finish it tonight.
Yay!
I've got part 2. So like, I've got part 2 to do, right? And you might think, oh, so you're halfway through the game. Like, no. So like, part 1 is like 30 to 35 hours, depending on like how much you do like side quests and explore and stuff. And then like part 2 is like 5 hours. It's like the last 5 hours of the game. It's not evenly split like you would think it might be from hearing it being called part 2. But I get why it's called part 2, because this is a very significant shift in the story.
But it's only 5 hours.
But it's like the last part of the game. So it's chapter 6 basically, but they just call it part 2 because you get a new. So like the game starts with like you do a little bit and then it starts with an anime intro, right? Which all Tales games do. And then like 35 hours in, you do a boss fight. There's a cutscene. Shit goes down. And then it plays a second anime intro. And it's like, cool, here's part 2. And I was like, oh my god, I'm only halfway through the game. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh no, I'm nearly finished. Because I was thinking I was nearly finished. But then I was like, oh shit, maybe I'm not. And I'll review that
next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will review Wavelengths.
And then I'm going to take a short games break.
A long game break.
Yeah, I'm going to take a break from
Yeah.
long games, like play some like short games. Like I got a couple of games installed on Steam that are like 30 minutes each.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm just like, so like I might just like blast out some short games because like I've played the same game for a week. And it's like, wow.
Well, but that shows that it's got your attention, though.
Oh yeah, it's definitely good. Like
Yeah.
like I definitely enjoy it. But I'm a Tales of fangirl, so you know.
Mm.
I even like Hysteria, which is the one no one likes.
Amy going against the grain. What a surprise.
Sure. I don't do it on purpose.
That's true. Well, I've really enjoyed Wavelengths.
Yay. That's good.
Steph is an amazing character.
Steph is an amazing character. I can't wait to
And
hear about it.
I'm now replaying True Colors again.
Of course you are. I knew you would be. As soon as you
The
finish.
ending of Wavelength just made me go, I now have to play it again. I have to. It's like, it's the law.
Moody is going to play no other games for the rest of 2021. But Life is Strange True Colors. Until he's not even going to play Pokemon. He's going to play True Colors until the Life is Strange Remastered collection comes out next year.
Probably.
He's going to skip all the Pokemon games.
Skip Halo, Kena, Forza, Pokemon. I'm sure there's other games.
Hollow
there
Knight.
Well, that's not even coming out this
Please,
year,
Nintendo. Right. I don't even
Yeah,
care about Fantasy Critic. I just want to play Hollow Knight.
You kind of need a Fantasy Critic. Like, don't you have a game to cancel yet on that? Or have you
I do.
Yeah, so you've still got time. And Keith really needs to get his finger out of ass to pick what his last game would have been.
But no, it's fine. Like I don't care about Fantasy Critic. I feel like Hollow Knight would be the icing on the cake that would make 2021 like the perfect gaming year for me.
Until next year.
Anyway, let's talk about video games. It's been like 12 minutes. And half of that was me going, look at my room. How cool is my room? Look at my flag. My flag's so awesome. I even got a purple Among Us plushie. I'm going to stop now. There's timestamps in the description below the video on YouTube. If you haven't already used them to get past that, you can use them to get around and like watch the podcast in any order you want, or just watch bits of it. It's fine. We don't mind. You can also, the timestamps are also in the descriptions wherever you get your audio podcasts, because we are up on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. I apologize if my microphone placement isn't ideal. I screwed this together like an hour ago. So you know, it's a journey. We'll figure it out. Let's dive right in. Talk about a great video game publisher with a great history of non-stop amazing games called Konami. Konami is set to revive Metal Gear, Castlevania, and Silent Hill. This is from Andy Robinson over at VGC. He writes, Konami is set to ramp up its premium game development with new installments and remakes for its biggest franchises, including Metal Gear and Castlevania. That's according to publishing sources who spoke to VGC anonymously because they did not have permission to discuss their projects publicly. Konami's premium games output has slowed down significantly in recent years. The last new, it's really off. You know, every time you click somewhere on that page, I get a thing that pops up on my screen. Please stop. This little pink thing comes up that just says anonymous camel, and it's just appearing all over the place. The last new Metal Gear game was 2018's critically panned Metal Gear Survive. Oh my god, that game existed. It wasn't a fever dream. While the last mainline Castlevania release was 2014's Lords of Shadow 2. In the past decade, the company has arguably grown a bigger reputation for its pachinko gambling games than for its premium PC and console releases. However, following a restructure of the company's game development divisions earlier this year, Konami is now focused on bringing back its biggest brands to the premium game space, VGC was told. The first of these titles will be a new Castlevania game, which sources described as a reimagining of the series currently in development internally at Konami in Japan with support from external studios. There's been much speculation that Demon Souls studio Bluepoint could be working on a remake of Metal Gear Solid. However, VGC is told the series is actually being worked on by external studio Virtuos. Established in 2004, Virtuos is one of the largest game developers in the world and focuses on supporting the development of major AAA games or bringing existing games to new platforms. Recently, it worked on the Switch ports of Dark Souls Remastered, The Outer Worlds, and the Bioshock Collection, as well as contributing art and content to blockbusters such as Battlefield 1, Uncharted 4, and Horizon Zero Dawn. The new project is currently in early development, and multiple sources suggested it would be centered around fan-favorite entry Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater rather than the original MGS. Konami also intends to release remasters of the original Metal Gear Solid games for modern consoles ahead of the larger project, we understand. Finally, multiple Silent Hill games are currently in development at various external development studios as per an earlier VGC report from February. One of these projects was outsourced to a prominent Japanese developer earlier this year, we were told. Konami should publicly showcase its plans at major shows next year, disruption from the pandemic permitting. Konami pulled out of this year's E3 2021 show due to timing issues, although at the time it confirmed it had a number of key projects in the works. Konami's Japanese bosses are understood to have historically pushed back against most pitches to outsource its key game brands, which is a big reason why previous pitches for Silent Hill games, such as one by Until Dawn Studios Supermassive, why doesn't that exist, weren't greenlit. However, following the disappointing performance of recent in-house titles, Metal Gear Survive and Contra Rogue Corps, VGC sources said the company has become more willing to contract outside studios for its major franchises. Why? Supermassive Games comes up to you and says, hey, we want to make a Silent Hill game. You go, yes, here's the money. That's the answer. That's the only correct answer. God damn it!
So they've U-turned again from what they were saying a couple of years ago, which I think everyone was thinking they were going to do eventually.
Yeah, they'd have to.
Konami have some of the biggest franchises in the world: Metal Gear, Castlevania, Silent Hill, and many, many more. This is not a surprise whatsoever. There's never really been really frustrations of like obviously we know there was rumors that Bluepoint were possibly doing a Metal Gear remake, but obviously
we'll find out what they're doing later.
well, yeah, something like that, yeah. But no, there's never been actual evidence to say yes, this is actually happening and everything. So
yeah, where did that even start? Like, I don't even understand.
Some PlayStation guy or some PlayStation fanboy probably said it, and it just
like,
went,
Bluepoint to make a Metal Gear. It's like, no, they're not. No, they're not. Yeah. This is like the Nintendo Switch Pro.
It was either Metal Gear or was Silent Hill.
Yeah, I got sick of hearing. I think I banned Silent Hill on this podcast at one point because I was like, I'm sick of fucking hearing about it. So we're not doing it anymore. It reminds me, actually, there's a story I didn't add that I was meant to add. But it's fine. I'll do that.
Now, if the games come back and they're fantastic, that's all we need and that's all we want at the end of the day. New
absolutely.
reiterations, new revisions, or whatever they want to do, bring it on. I'm always happy about that. Just don't give me Metal Gear Survive, for God's sakes.
Oh
please,
my
guys.
God.
We do not need that.
I played that game, Manny.
I know you did.
Played it.
It wasn't a dream, Manny.
Wasn't. I thought it was a nightmare. Me and Keith played it. You know what? Me and Keith did have a bit of fun with it. Like, it was a terrible game. But we did have a little bit of fun with the multiplayer. On a stream once. Why is Jeff Grubb tweet so much? Fuck's sake, Jeff. But yeah, this is good. Like I've been saying for years, like I want Konami to bring back its IPs like Castlevania and Silent Hill are two IPs I love. Metal Gear is a beloved IP. That a lot of people love. Like, and I only got into it with Metal Gear 5, like the latest one, the last Kojima's last Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
But if they're gonna remaster them, like I'll give them a shot, sure. Like, but I've always wanted them to do it the right way, like because we did a podcast a while ago, which was which like the topic of which was which video game franchises would you like to see make a comeback? And I wasn't on that podcast, and I remember Keith was hosting it, and Keith opened the podcast and then was like, "Oh, I'm sure if Amy was here, she'd say Silent Hill." This was like 4 or 5 years ago, and I edited the podcast, put it together. We got on the next podcast, and I was like, "No, I wouldn't. Have you seen what Konami's been making recently? Why would I want them to do Silent Hill right now? It would be terrible." Like, so like the fact that they're outsourcing to like other developers, like to get these franchises going again, is a really good move. Like, Lords of Shadow 2 wasn't a great game. Contra wasn't a great game. Metal Gear Survive wasn't a great game. The latest football game we'll be talking about in a few minutes, like it's like they're struggling because they haven't been making very many games. Their talent's gone. Like their talent pool just evaporated. Most of it works at Kojima Productions, I'd imagine.
Probably.
So this is the news that gives me hope that maybe this might not be a train wreck. And I don't want it to be, because I want these games to be good, because I like some of them quite a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, Konami, like I always say, like I've been saying for the past couple of weeks, just like for like Activision and like Ubisoft, they have a rich history, and we want to be talking about them in a positive light and everything. You can make money in whatever way you want with your pachinko machines and everything. Go for it. I don't really give a flying hoot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You throw out amazing games, you'll never hear a peep from anybody at all, and you know that. We know this. So like, you've got some of the best franchises out there.
Yeah,
bring them back, and you do an amazing job. Me and Amy will literally be on top of that bloody mountain, screaming it. Play these games.
If Silent Hill came back and it was good, like I will be obnoxious about it, because I will just feel like I will be all over that shit. Like, you won't be able to shut me up about that game. Because I'll be like, yeah, suck it, Resident Evil fans. You've been taunting us for the past decade and a half. I don't think it's been that long, but like it feels that long.
I'll be in my corner, still like waiting for my dino.
And wait, I have a thing. You'll just have your little dinosaur. Just be like, it's one day. It lights up. One day. It's a night. It's a night light. Yes, I need a nightlight. Yeah, like, no, I will be like super happy if I get to play like a new Castlevania and a new Silent Hill and a new Metal Gear, and they're all good games.
Yeah.
It does annoy me. It does frustrate me that like you had supermassive games like with a Silent Hill pitch and turned it down. Like, goddamn. But like, I'm glad that whoever's in charge at Konami now has realized that if they can make money by making good games. Like,
what's the craziest thing about it? Like, why the turn a few years ago went completely viral? It's like the video game industry is the biggest industry in the world.
Yeah, but
it's the biggest entertainment industry in the world. Movies and music combined don't outgross what the video game industry does, and that's for me. When it just comes to a money aspect, I'm just like, why are you doing this?
At the time,
doesn't make much sense.
At the time, I think it was because the games weren't very good. That was part of the problem, I think, because at the time they were talking about how their pachinko stuff, and like, because I think they own, like, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure they own some whatever Japanese version of casino is, and that was making them a lot of money, and video games weren't making them a lot of money because they weren't seeing a massive return on investment because that games weren't very good. Like Metal Gear Solid 5 was probably a big one for them, but then
and
they
got a huge backlash on that.
But they got a huge backlash on it because they also sacked the guy who made it. Like,
and refuse to talk about him.
and refused to talk about him and refused to let him accept awards for this brilliant game that he'd made. And that was made compounded by the fact that, you know, like, he was working on a Silent Hill game where that, like, and had released a demo for that game that was like, that demo alone, like, is talked about as one of the best horror games of all time. Like, never mind what the game that could have spawned from it would have been. So, like, they faced a significant backlash, and I think ego might have played a part, where I think they just went, you know what, we don't fucking need this. We make a shitload of money off pachinkos. We can just use our IPs and make pachinko machines out of them, and everything will be fine.
Yeah. And I bet that, and then companies were starting to come across, how much for this franchise that you are not using?
Yeah. I said for years, I said Microsoft should have just fucking reversed up to Konami headquarters with all the money that would fit in a truck and just said, we want to buy it, all of it. Yeah. Like, you can still make your pachinko machines, but we want to make games with them. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm not, like, excited or anything, because Konami doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt right now in terms of, like, the games that it's produced in the last 10 years. Metal Gear Solid 5 notwithstanding.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's a wait and see type of thing. There's no doubt about that. No doubt. But if they were, obviously, it sounds like they were holding back this year, obviously because of the pandemic, so I'm guessing they might show some next year.
They will show some.
A very interesting thing next year.
If it's
E3, they wait for. If it's E3, they wait.
You know, Jeff Keighley might have even seen this and gone, maybe I can get something here. Like, we might see something in December. They were gonna be at E3. They were at one point gonna be at E3.
I don't think they. It all depends, because they would have saw when Jeff basically called them out when they said they refused to allow Kojima to come through.
It's fine. It's new management now. It's new management.
We'll see.
But we're not done with Konami yet, Moody.
Oh, why not?
Did you click the link? I put a note at the bottom where I said, Moody, click here. And like, scroll down.
I have clicked the link.
Look at the pictures in the videos while I read the text. Konami vows to fix eFootball following disastrous launch. This is from Wesley Impool over at Eurogamer. He writes, Konami has issued a statement on eFootball following its disastrous launch this week. The launch has gone so badly and the backlash has been so that eFootball is now the worst reviewed game ever on Steam. In a new statement published this afternoon, Konami vowed to improve the game and even went as far as to identify many of the gameplay and graphics issues that have seen eFootball become a meme. The statement points to pass speed and, quote, defense operation, end quote, two aspects of the game we highlighted as particularly problematic in our impressions piece. The statement also points to the quality of cutscenes, the player faces, which have gone viral, player movement, and the way the ball works. Basically, Konami is pretty much saying all of the game isn't where it should be. If I had to put things right and said an update is planned for this month. This month being October.
What are you wanting me to watch here?
Just look at all the stupid pictures and videos of all the bugs. It's WWE all over again. With the big square mouths. Wait, where are they all? No. I thought it's the you know what?
Trailer of the game.
You know what, Moody? That's my bad. It's the wrong link.
All right, never mind. But either way,
I can find it. This game is fucked. Like, let's focus on the fact that it is the worst rated game on Steam in history.
That's a title and a half. That like.
I know, right? Like, holy shit.
A badge of non-honor, or honor if you want. I don't know.
No, that's well, it's certainly something.
Depends on how you want to twist it.
It's they fucked it basically. Here's the correct link in my Google Doc.
It does sound like it. I'll have a look at it.
There's some pictures. No videos.
I complete this used to be PES, didn't it?
Yeah. So this is Pro Evolution Soccer. They've changed it to eFootball.
Yeah, and it's free. But I believe
it's free, but it's got very limited functionality. So, like, I was reading another piece about it because obviously with the bugs coming up, I was reading about it. And like, so at the moment in the game, is you can 1v1 versus AI, and there's a limited time mode where you can 1v1 like other players, but that's all that's in the game right now. So like the free release was like, this is the starting point, and then they're going to expand upon it from there. But they might need to fix some stuff. I'm guessing you've clicked the link. You've seen the referee in the ground.
Well, that's just a referee in general in football, so that's all right. They can't say shit.
There was a video on the other article where it's like that's the referee like will move around with the game. So like, you know how like the football passes around, the ref like runs around, and he's just in the ground like face down, just going boo, following it around, and there's like invisible players. Like there was another video I saw where they did where they had you know, like when they all line up at the beginning and they put their arms around each other and they sing the national anthems or whatever, and like half of the players and some of the players' arms are all missing. So it's like there's one person with their arm around nothing, and then it's just doing the slow pan across, and then you'll see a guy and he's got one arm, and it's just like, oh my god, what the fuck happened?
See, this is what we're talking about, Konami. We want good games, not broken games, please. When you remake or whatever you want to do for the Metal Gear, the Castlevanias, and the Silent Hills. Either way, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, you don't sell FIFA either way, but you've made it even more bloody easier for them this year. When I'm hearing overall competent things about this year's FIFA, and you're throwing out a game that's a complete broken mess and is the worst reviewed game on Steam
ever.
Wowzers. Absolutely wowzers. That is insane to think that. But I don't know what else to say here. I hope the team's able to fix it as soon as possible, but also don't crunch, man. I don't want you to do that and everything. But Jesus, man.
Do it healthily.
Konami will want them to get the game fixed as fast as possible. Probably,
well, yeah, because their game is going to be reliant on like content updates, like even more so than like a live service game, because like there's nothing there. Yeah, it's a live service game, but like what's been released is there's like like you can play 1v1 against the computer, against the AI. Or for the next like 10 days, you can play against other players in like limited time mode. That's it. That's all that's there. Like that's all that's in the game.
Yeah. What even hurts us even more is that you may have some of the players that you're able to make them look like them, but you don't have any of the titles that like FIFA have. Like FIFA have the rights to the UEFA, the Premier Leagues, and all like that. You don't have any of that eFootball,
No.
so it's going to be very interesting to see what you're going to be able to do here. Like it's going to be fascinating. Gonna be fascinating. Like I've never been to PES person anyway, so when I heard this change to this name, I was just thinking, it seems like you're just throwing this out to die now, and you're just gonna be like making it better throughout the time and everything. They obviously wanted to get this out before FIFA, and it's probably been a bit of a rush job. Maybe I'm not really sure. I can't really fully comment on
like
that.
FIFA comes out and it's $60, $70, or whatever it is, and like it's got all the loot boxes in it and the FIFA Ultimate Teams, and then it's like, well, if you want an alternative, here's our free alternative. It's, you know what I mean, like you can download it and play it right now, but it's like it's such a like it's broken, but even without that, it's like it's such a slim offering. It's like, why would anyone choose that, even if it's free, over FIFA, which FIFA Ultimate Team is disgusting, but it also has a bunch of other features and mods.
Yeah.
Like, and your game has like one way to play it, like two ways to play it, right? Like, it's not a great start, and the fact that it's just completely busted up and it's bad. Like, wow.
I hope they're able to get this sorted.
I tell you what, though, watching all the videos and looking at all the memes really helped pass the time on the bus today. So thanks for that. Anyway, staying in Japan, Capcom intends to make PC its main platform. This is from Jeffrey Rousseau over at gamesindustry.biz. He writes, yesterday, Capcom shared that it intends for PC to be its main platform for software. According to Bloomberg reporter Takahashi Mochizuki's English recap of a Japanese-language Nikkei report, Capcom president and COO Haruhiro Tsujimoto told the outlet at the Tokyo Game Show that it wants the PC to eventually become its primary platform. Also, the publisher wants to have sales from PC games equal to that of home consoles within 2 years. With this goal in mind, the company announced that the Nintendo Switch exclusive Monster Hunter Rise will be coming to PCs in January of next year. While it's not unheard of for Capcom's PC releases to trail their console counterparts, the company has increasingly supported simultaneous launches in recent years for games like Resident Evil Village, Street Fighter V Champion Edition, and Devil May Cry 5. It's interesting. Wasn't that long ago that Japanese publishers generally stayed away from PC?
Yeah. Yeah, Sony are moving to it. Now Capcom are moving to it. So,
It's wild. Like, I went on Steam before, because Steam Next Fest, right? So I was thinking about maybe doing like a demo stream. So I went on Steam to see what demos were on. And the first thing I saw, PlayStation publisher sale on Steam. And I was like, holy shit. Like, if I screenshotted that and sent it back in time, 10 years, to my past self 10 years ago, it would have been like, whoa, the future's wild.
Future's wild, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
So, Capcom are it's not even because, we've talked about it before. It's we've talked about, Japanese publishers are putting more and more of their games on Steam, even, because they sell. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. PlayStation are doing it because they're selling a lot of units. And Capcom have been starting to do it in recent years because they're selling a lot of units. You see Monster Hunter Rise is coming to PC. It won't be coming to PlayStation and Xbox. It'll just be coming to PC. But I still find it really fascinating that Capcom's intention is to make PC its main platform. That's really interesting to me.
Being on everything just makes let me try this again. Being on everything will get them the top. We'll get the top dollar.
Yeah, right.
So it's just the perfect marketing sense. It's a perfect money sense incentive for themselves to be able to put themselves on more than just one platform. If you're just sticking just to two platforms, it's not impossible that you make
money.
Yeah, you'll make your money. Yeah. You'll break even with the game because they've proven it for years and years and years because they've been primarily a console company. But going for it, it's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with PC game. There's nothing wrong with console game. Play wherever the hell you want. If the games are brilliant, that's all that matters.
I make a lot of jokes on this podcast and on my live streams and whatnot, but they are just jokes. You play games wherever you want. I prefer console gaming.
Yeah, you want to play it on this? You play it on this as well.
Go for it. You can fucking play it. As I proved on a podcast a couple of months ago, you could play the new Yakuza on your phone.
Yes, you can.
You don't even need a controller. You can just literally use your phone. And that's fucking awesome, man. See, this is another reason why I don't leave my window open when we're podcasting.
My window's not open.
That's terrifying. So yeah, this is cool, and I can't wait to see what I met my friend Patrick for a burrito today. It was meant to be coffee, but we got hungry, and we were talking about just games in general, and I did say and before I'd read this story, because I only found this story when I was doing the show notes like a couple hours ago, and I did say I imagine the next Persona 6, because we were talking about the Persona franchise. And I said I would imagine Persona 6 is going to come out on PC quite rapidly after it comes out on PlayStation 5, because Persona 4 Golden is another example of a Japanese publisher putting a game on Steam, and it sells really well because it turns out PC gamers want to play Persona 4. And they want to play Persona 5 and 6, and they want to play Capcom games, and they want to play Square Enix games, So I think it's a really good strategy, but making it its main platform, again, that's a really interesting culture shift at Capcom if that's what they're going for.
Yeah, I agree.
Can't wait to see it come to fruition.
Now, where's my Dino Crisis remake?
PC exclusive Dino Crisis remake incoming.
Oh yeah. I'll buy that. I don't care. Just give me it.
I mean, yeah, do it. I
I'm a
want you.
simple
You know,
man.
I'll take the piss out of you for like to the ends of time and back, but I want you to have your Dino Crisis remake.
Thank you.
I'll still take the piss out of you for always asking for it,
Oh, yeah.
though. Predicting
yeah.
it, being all like, "It's coming, it's definitely coming." I gotta take the piss.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Just like you keep taking the piss when I'm like, "Please, Hollow Knight, please." I played you. I played you in 2019. Where are you?
The thing is, you've played that. You know it exists.
I know it exists.
I
Well,
don't know if mine
you say
exists.
you say that, but like the Twitter thread I put up when I was going through all my boxes and bags, and I found all that EGX stuff, and I found the book that proved the thing I've been saying for years, where nobody believed me, where it was like I played Dead Island 2 at EGX in 2014. It's in the book. I played it. It doesn't exist. It can't exist anymore. It never came out, and it's been like what, 7 years?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, it's so weird, like stuff like that. But yeah, it's like I'm sure it's something like I need to get. I'm gonna give you some hope. I'm sure someone somewhere at Capcom is thinking about Dino Crisis right now. Maybe not right now because it's Saturday there, but like today at work, someone was thinking about Dino Crisis in a professional capacity. Did that help?
Yes.
Cool. Let's move on. This is a follow-up to a story we did last week, and I think me and Moody will just say, "Hey, told you so." Why the initiative hired Crystal Dynamics to help with Perfect Dark. This is from Jeff Grubb over at GamesBeat, who writes, "It's something we're hearing more often these days. Making video games is difficult, and the job isn't any easier during a pandemic and labor shortage. And while this reality is turning into, is turning into a new normal, it is forcing many businesses to remain flexible in how they tackle their challenges. That's exactly the thinking that led Xbox Game Studios developer The Initiative to hire Crystal Dynamics as a support studio for Microsoft's upcoming Perfect Dark project, according to sources familiar with the move. Development on Perfect Dark is in the process of ramping up. That was always the plan after a few years of pre-production and prototyping. Excuse me a sec. But shifting into that higher gear is taking longer than Microsoft was hoping for. The initiative needs talent, but it's difficult to quickly hire hundreds of skilled developers, especially during the pandemic. And the initiative boss Daryl Gallagher was also concerned about team cohesion. It's challenging to get hundreds of people to work together at a high level on their first project together. But Gallagher, who previously worked at Crystal Dynamics, still had strong connections to the studio and publisher Square Enix. He also deeply understands the capabilities of Crystal Dynamics. That led him to pitch all parties about a collaboration. Microsoft executives see this as very similar to large named studios like Certain Affinity working on the Master Chief Collection, or Sega's Creative Assembly working on Halo Wars 2, or Sega's Relic working on Age of Empires 4. In today's gaming market, this is a smart shortcut for Microsoft. Sure, it could go out and hire a full team immediately. That might include poaching talent from Crystal Dynamics, but renting that entire team is faster and more efficient. That's as far as I'm going with that news story. Basically, they hired Crystal Dynamics because it's easier to hire an entire team all at once to help with video game development than hire 100 people. Which is more or less what we were talking about last week when we reacted to the initial news. And we also kind of reacted to like the reaction from people about it, where it was just like, people need to chill because I'm sure this doesn't mean the game's in dire straits. Lo and behold.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's game making is hard, ladies and gentlemen. If you think it's easy to get a game out within 2-3 years, think again. Especially when it's basically they're starting from scratch. To say like, they're creating brand new assets, they're creating brand new levels, they're creating brand new assets for the weapons, the claws, the voice, the scripts. That you do not realize. Now, if it's a successful game, which I hope it is, the sequel should be out earlier. Should be
That's
out a
the
lot
theory.
more fast. That is theory if they use the same assets, unless they do a complete cyberpunk thing, say they want to create a whole new game. That's why they'll take forever on that one as well. But either way, it's nothing. Like we said last week, there was nothing wrong what was happening.
No,
And it's still the same.
like
It's all good.
it's what we thought it was. It's no big deal, and like it makes a lot of sense that like it would be difficult to put together a team to ramp up development on a video game right now because of the state of not just even the gaming industry, right, but like the world in general. So like this is actually a really smart move. It's like you get an entire team that has already worked together for so long. That's actually genius. Like,
Yep.
hats off to Daryl Gallagher, who it seems like came up with this idea because it's just fucking brilliant. Like, wait, well, we could like spend months and months and months hiring and bedding in lots of developers, or we could just take a shortcut. I know some guys. They're all one team. They're really good at their jobs.
Yeah.
Like, what if we just hired them as a whole unit?
And the thing is, they're probably still hiring.
Oh yeah,
It's
definitely.
just this just a counteraction to be able to allow them to still hire, but also stay with on a good consistency to making the game.
Yeah,
So they're just doing the smart thing here. So by the time the game comes out, they'll probably be at the capacity they want to be. And then the deal might be all done then, or they might think the deal was so great. Microsoft buy Crystal Dynamics.
this was the other thing I wanted to talk about. Where I was like, what if this is a tryout? Like, what if they're making Perfect Dark, and then Microsoft just want to buy Crystal?
I'd see Square Enix letting them go. So for me,
I
it'll just be
can.
them buy Square Enix.
I can, but only because like Square Enix have like, I don't know what the correct term. I don't know what the correct word I would use is. Like, they
They've had
seem
a weird
disinterested in like their West. They seem more disinterested in their Western studios than in their Japanese studios.
I think that is a fair analogy to say to any Eastern publisher.
Square Enix is one of, apart from console manufacturers, who like have studios all over the world.
Yeah.
Like Square Enix, the only Japanese publisher that has like also owns studios in like America, like in the West, basically.
Yeah.
Because like, they got rid of IO Interactive out of seemingly nowhere. Like,
Ryo just basically said, "Yo, let us go. We'll do our own thing."
Like, well, it was that was touch and go.
We'll also take Hitman.
That was amazing of Square Enix to let them take Hitman with them. Like, holy shit. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I could see them doing it just because it feels like they have a much bigger focus on their Japanese stuff, like their Final Fantasies and. Why am I'm drawing a blank on literally everything else Square Enix makes.
Any JRPG game out there apart from Persona?
They don't make
and Tales. They don't do Tales.
They don't do Tales. No.
Yeah.
Bandai Namco do Tales.
I know. Yeah.
So
yeah.
No, yeah, go on. Yeah.
No, there's nothing. Like I said, there was nothing wrong with what happened last week. They're doing
no, I wanna let's specifically highlight the fact that me and Moody saw a bunch of people hitting the panic buttons on our Twitters and a bunch of like influencers and content creators going, this is terrible. Oh my god, I'm really worried. And you know, me and Moody providing the voice of reason, just going, it's probably not that bad though.
Well, that's the thing about it. Like, it is weird when you see those type of things. I can understand from a certain point, but I think people forget that, like what I said at the beginning, game development is difficult, especially if you start in a brand new IP. Well, it's not a brand new IP.
It's not a brand new IP, but Perfect Dark Zero was 16 years ago. So
yeah, they aren't using the same assets. They're creating brand new assets. They're creating the whole new thing. So it takes time. If you think it doesn't take bloody time.
Yeah, like one of the things I saw was like they're only in pre-production. They've been working on it for years. It's like, well, they had to set the studio up first. Like, this is a brand new studio. This isn't like a studio Microsoft bought. And then it's like, once you do that, then you've got to figure out what game you're even making. And then once you do that, you've got to figure out what of that game,
Yeah.
what is that game? Like, sometimes pre-production takes a long time.
Yeah, it probably took them 6 months just to get placed into the proper tip-top stage.
Like, they probably had to build the fucking studio.
Yeah, from with at least the management structure.
No, and I mean that
having
literally. I
staff
mean, they
in, but
construct it.
yeah, I know what you're saying there, but I'm going past that. I'm going to the part where that, and then you got to think how long it would have ever took them to decide whatever they wanted to do. And I don't even know. And it was that Perfect Art, so I'm not even sure. Did they own the rights to that?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's all right then.
It was a rare game, so they've owned the rights to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So and everything. So it's like it's a whole thing. It is absolutely a whole thing. Like, there's a reason why God of War, the next God of War, is coming out a lot faster than a lot of people thought it was, because they're using a lot of the same assets.
Yeah, because that's how sequels work.
Yes.
But like, yeah, it's like it makes sense, and like this is a radical reimagining of Perfect Dark as well. Like this isn't.
Hell yeah.
This is like it's. You could fair to argue this isn't Perfect Dark. Like the games that we knew, like that we played on the N64 and Xbox 360. If you were unfortunate enough to play Perfect Dark's era, and but even the article says here, like Microsoft has done this before. Like Creative Assembly made Halo Wars 2. Relic is currently making Age of Empires 4. Like, this isn't even outside the box for Microsoft. It's not even outside the box for Nintendo. Like, before they bought the studio, a third-party studio made Luigi's Mansion 3. And, like, it's the same thing at Sony. Before they bought the studio, which we'll get into later, Bluepoint Games made Demon's Souls. Like, third-party studios making games for platform holders is not unheard of. It's called contract work. Most studios do it.
And like they're going off to a different studio that Microsoft own. There's a reason why you haven't seen Fable apart from its CGI trailer.
Yeah,
there's a reason for that. They're all brand new assets that they're creating,
and they created a brand new studio. Like, I know this because I follow several people in the industry who all left their jobs to go and work at Playground Games.
A ton of them did. An absolute ton of them did.
Yeah, tons of people have moved to the UK. I'm so sorry about that. To work at Playground Games. Including the person who wrote the... There is a massive argument happening outside right now. I just heard it as I took a breath there. No, it's fine. Everything. The fact that the window is closed, but I can still hear it over my headphones is interesting. I hope someone hasn't set fire to a car again. The one of the writers on Fable did the puppet shows on wrote the puppet show episodes in Control. Which were like my favorite things in that game.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The Threshold kids. I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. Anna McGill.
Microsoft have got an incredible studios. Just give them the goddamn time, especially when it comes to a new IP.
Like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. If there's something to worry about, it'll be really obvious. It always is in the end.
Yeah.
Like, we all knew Anthem was going to be bad months before it came out. The video game industry, for all of its secrecy, it's really easy to see what's about to be a train wreck and what's not. Like, it's really obvious to see train wrecks coming. Speaking of train wrecks...
That might be the best segue you've done for a while.
I really put some thought in. I didn't. I just came up with it on the spot, but I'm really proud of myself. Activision Blizzard settles with EEOC, creating $18 million fund to compensate staff. This is from James Batchelor over at GamesIndustry.biz. He writes, Activision Blizzard has reached a settlement with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, one of the US government bodies that has been investigating workplace issues at the Call of Duty publisher. News of the EEOC's examination of Activision Blizzard first emerged last week with suggestions that it could lead to a settlement. The publisher has now detailed the requirements of this settlement, although it's still awaiting for approval from the courts. Activision Blizzard has promised to create an $18 million fund to, quote, compensate and make amends to eligible claimants, end quote, with the EEOC to determine who is eligible and how much relief they are entitled to. This will be open to current and former Activision Blizzard employees who worked at any of the company's US locations since September 1st, 2016. Examples of what people can claim for include sexual harassment, pregnancy discrimination, and or related retaliation or constructive discharge by Activision Blizzard, end quote. Any money left over from the 18 million yeah, like there's going to be money left over. Any money left over from the $18 million fund will be donated to charities focused on promoting awareness around harassment and gender equality issues, advancing women in the games industry, and company diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. All charity selections will need to be approved by the EEOC. To put the $18 million figure into context, in the last financial year, Activision Blizzard reported net revenues of $8.1 billion and net bookings of $8.4 billion. In its most recent quarter alone, those figures came in at $2.3 billion and $1.9 billion, respectively. Activision Blizzard made other promises in the agreement, including a proposal to develop software tools and training programs that improve workplace policies and practices, not just at the publisher but across the industry. It will also hire an internal equal employment opportunity coordinator and bring in a neutral third-party EEO consultant to ensure it is complying with the agreement. The consultant will also have to be approved by the EEOC. Actor Bobby Kotick said a bunch of stupid shit. I'm not going to dignify it with what he said. He was all like, "Oh, here at Activision Blizzard, we are really sorry and really good at stuff, and we want to be..." Whatever. Shut up, Bobby. Go back to your yacht. Activision Blizzard still faces an investigation from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, accusations of illegal union-busting activity from the Communications Workers of America, a class action lawsuit on behalf of its investors for not disclosing issues with its workplace culture, and the lawsuit from the state of California's Department for Fair Employment and Housing that first raised these issues back in July. That's why I don't really trust anything Bobby Kotick has to say. The company is also under pressure over its executive compensation plans, particularly when it comes to Kotick's earnings. The SOC investment group told GamesIndustry.biz it is calling for the publisher to award no bonuses in 2021 until the workplace issues are resolved. Fuck Bobby Kotick.
Amen to that. So when it comes to the number of the money and everything like that, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing when it comes to the price here.
It's a good thing that there's money.
Yeah, but when it comes to Activision, who makes hundreds of millions
it's like
every year, it's very nothing at the same time.
It's
I don't
like
disagree with what you're saying there.
Me paying with money that I happened to find down the back, like the pennies that I happened to find down underneath the sofa cushion. In the time it took me to read that news story, Activision Blizzard probably made $18 million.
Probably.
Like,
not about that. Yeah.
What the fuck?
So just to go on, like another thing, this is probably what's going to happen to all the lawsuits, everyone.
Oh yeah, easily.
They're going to settle. All of them are going to settle in some way. They aren't going to go to court at all. Activision do not want to go to court, so they will literally make sure they sell.
Unless
90% of lawsuits never go to court.
Yeah, unless the United States Securities and Exchange Commission or the state of California specifically really push for it, these aren't going to court. But hopefully the 18 million, this isn't a sign of things to come, because otherwise it's just going to be a really disappointing few years. Come on, guys. They made $8.1 billion in a year. You can squeeze them for a little bit more money. They're good for it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But like I said, when it comes to the price, it should be more at the end of the day. We know this. We all know this. But yeah, I don't know how to really feel about this at the end of the day, because like I say, it's Activision. They're not in the best place right now. We aren't saying the best things about them or anything like that, which is deservedly so. Let's just remember, someone took their own life, ladies and gentlemen, which is it's a shame that actually happened and everything. And I hope to everybody, please, if you need help, speak up and everything. Sadly, that person did and still didn't get any. That's how bad Activision Blizzard is at this moment in time. this money is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. Like say,
Yeah.
it should be more. It should be more. Like I said, they've probably made 18 million by the time this episode comes out on Monday. They would have guaranteed. That's how crazy it is.
Yeah, man. Like, there's people buying there's like people buying loot boxes in Overwatch and Call of Duty right now. Like,
yeah, no doubt about it. Hopefully, I don't know really what to say. I mean,
well, like, yeah, it's a tough one, right? Because it's like there's money on the table now for people who are affected, like in a specific way. Because again, there's like ring fencing around the money, right? It's any former or current employee in the US locations since September 1st, 2016, people could claim for sexual harassment, pregnancy discrimination. So it's not like a blanket thing. There's going to be a lot of claimants. Like Activision Blizzard turns over staff at an alarming rate.
Which we'll probably be talking about sometime in the beginning of next year.
Probably. Like $18 million isn't going to go that far. Like, there's other things that Activision Blizzard could be doing right now. Like I read the paragraph. Any money left over from the $18 million fund will be donated to charities, which sounds great on paper. But Activision Blizzard could just donate money directly to those charities right now. Like, they could easily donate $100 million and they wouldn't even notice, like, on their balance sheet to, like, the charities that they're talking about here. And so, like, yay, there's a bit of money that has come out of this for some of the people who have been affected by it. But, like, again, it's like the equivalent of Bobby Kotick just, like, found some spare change behind the couch on his fucking yacht that he got with the bonus that he got last year, which was also more than $18 million, significantly more.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's the thing about it. That's the thing. I think if we heard it was literally what Bobby made last year, I think we'd probably be saying, "Oh, that's actually not that bad."
yeah,
it's one for one. That one amount that he earned will help a lot of people and everything. But it's $18 million, which is not even half of what he earned.
Like, if they
That's the
turned
crazy
around and
thing
said,
about it.
instead of giving Bobby Kotick his $150 million bonus, we're gonna set up this fund. Like, it wouldn't erase the damage that was done. It wouldn't fix everything, but, like, it'd be a decent step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Instead of just piss all. Like, it's the equivalent of getting rid of your coppers in a busker's thing. Busker's guitar case, like, because you just need to get rid of them.
No doubt about it.
And you know they're going to use this to not pay any taxes again. Like, so what's the fucking point? Jesus.
Yeah, I just hope that anyone who is at Blizzard, just please be looking after yourself. If you're wanting to leave, go somewhere else and everything. And I hope you find a place there where you are truly happy, and you are truly appreciated by that company. And
whether that's in the game industry or out of the game industry, like, you deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. Like, and I hope, above all, like, I would hope that that message gets to people, because it's very easy to be trapped in, like, a toxic work environment, and, like, have your thinking twisted around to just be like, well, it's just how it is. And it's not how it is. Like, you deserve to be treated with dignity, and you can find that. And I know I'm saying it like it's the easiest thing in the world, and it's not the easiest thing in the world. And me and Moody have both been through this, in our lives. I think that's fair to say. And
yes.
And it is possible, but it is hard. But you'd absolutely deserve better than all of the things that we've read about Activision Blizzard and Ubisoft and everybody else over the past couple of years. But with that being said, we can also fight. We can also fight for a better games industry too.
Hell yeah, that's the thing about it. As much like we've said on many occasions, like we love this industry, but it is one hell of a double-edged sword right now, and that's what we don't want to hear, and that's what we don't want.
No, yeah, but let's try and make it better in any way that we can.
Yeah.
But if you feel like you need to get out, get out.
Hell yeah, I can completely understand that. Completely understand that.
And we say this knowing full well that we are not inside the game industry. For now, I know you're trying to get into the game industry. This podcast does not make us games industry people.
Oh, no.
We are not those kind of YouTube content creator influencers who think we're a part of the games industry.
Yeah, that's true. But, Jamie, there's one thing I wanted to say.
I think I know what you're going to say, and I'll just sit back and...
By the time this episode comes out, ladies and gentlemen, it will have been 67 days that Ubisoft have ignored the 1,000 people signed petition of trying to get just making Ubisoft a better Ubisoft and ending the abuse in gaming. A better Ubisoft is what we all want. Because you know what? I kind of want to try Avatar next year, Amy. You know that? And right now, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that because of my own morals in my own life and everything. But either way, Ubisoft, like I say every time, please do better. Amy, I'll leave it to you now.
Yeah, I was talking to Patrick about Assassin's Creed today, and he'd played Valhalla. And like he'd played Valhalla after playing Ghost of Tsushima, and he was just like, "Oh wow, this is really like the comparison was not favorable to Assassin's Creed." And I just went, "Oh, was it?" And he went, "Oh, of course you wouldn't have played it, would you?" I was like, "Oh, okay. I have a reputation. This is good. This is good."
The crazy thing is, I loved Valhalla. No, right
Odyssey.
One? Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Odyssey. I did not like Valhalla.
You reviewed it.
Yeah. Odyssey. I've reviewed both.
You reviewed Watch Dogs
games
yeah.
I did not have a favorable year last year when it came to Ubisoft. Even that was before the freaking whole thing happened with them. No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Way. Oh God, Amy, we've had a mixture, haven't we? But go on, I'll leave you to do what you need to do.
But this is the section of the podcast I do every week. Where, like Moody just said, more than 1,000 current and former Ubisoft employees signed a letter in solidarity with the Activision Blizzard walkout back in July, demanding that their own management take far more action to end abuse at Ubisoft and in the wider gaming industry, under the hashtag Hold Ubisoft Accountable. The Better Ubisoft Twitter account every single day posts one of the reasons why someone signed the open letter. So what I thought would be a good thing to do, is to take those tweets every single week and read them. There won't be as many this week because we're recording the podcast early because of scheduling. So there won't be as many as normal, but then there'll be more next week. So number one, a Ubisoft HR director told the victim, "It's not sexual harassment. It only happened 3 times." Number 2. The generic answer to any collective claim is, "We take this issue very seriously," generally followed with nothing else. Number 3. A male recently started with no prior experience. He's paid $4,000 more than I was just 2 years ago as a woman in the same position. Number 4, there is no accountability at Ubisoft. Managers who were fined over €1 million in 2016 for insider trading are still working in the company. And that's it. That's all we got this week. Because again, we're recording early, so we don't have as many.
Shout out to those brave, amazing people.
Yep. Agreed. Think Ubisoft will ever, address this in any way? Like you said, it's been by the time this podcast comes out, it'll have been 67 days since the letter was signed. They have to know it exists because they were sent it.
No, I don't think they will do anything.
Yeah,
which is a shame.
You're probably right. But
I hope I'm wrong. I want to be proven wrong.
Oh God, yes.
I want to wake up one day and to say, by the time the end of this year, and I'm being kind when it comes to the word, the length of it should be sorted like that.
Tomorrow.
Personally. Yeah. I want to wake up one time in the morning, look at my Twitter, and literally see them tweet out, "They have spoken. We are in active contact. We are actually trying to sort things. Things could be moving," and I'll be literally like,
Okay.
"Okay,
Thank God.
yeah, yeah." I want to feel that. Like, I want, Ubisoft. We want to say so nice things about you. Like I've said it the last 5 episodes, I think. You have a rich history, and we want to support you, but you make it hard to
We have a rich
want to
history.
support you.
You have some fantastic, amazing, tremendous, beautifully talented
IP.
people
Yeah.
working in your studios. Like there's a studio that's local to both myself and Moody. Like I know, like I met a ton of people from there. Ironically, in London at EGX, but go figure. Even though it's round the corner and London is like hundreds of miles away, but we don't want the industry to be bad. We want the industry to be good. I would love to just sit here and chat bollocks like about Konami games being bonkers broken, like here we are. Please do something, Ubisoft, please. Do something good.
The thing is, we expect Activision to know when they're not going to do anything. They're going to throw their thing underneath the rug, and we know that. Ubisoft, you have a chance here to prove us wrong. I hope you can.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Anonymous Camel. Twitch adds new account verification options to help crack down on hate raids. This is from Andy Chalk over at PC Gamer, who writes, as part of its effort to crack down on hate raids and other abusive behavior, Twitch has confirmed that it's adding a new phone-verified chat option that will give streamers more control over who can participate in their channels. The existing email verification system has also been expanded to be more granular. The new verification requirements can be set by channel owners and moderators on all accounts, first-time chatters, accounts under certain ages, 1 hour, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or accounts that have been following for insufficient time. Exemption options are also available for VIPs, subscribers, and moderators. Because, quote, there are many reasons someone may need to manage more than one account, end quote. I'd manage more than one account. As many as 5 separate accounts can be verified on a single phone number. To help ensure that flexibility doesn't result in abuse, if one account attached to the number is suspended, either for a single channel or site-wide, all other accounts attached to it will be suspended as well, and new accounts won't be verifiable through a number that's actively suspended. Email verification will only carry over into channel level suspensions, however. To reduce friction and avoid impeding chat, phone and email verification will be a one-off deal that will carry across all of Twitch. But because phone verification relies on codes delivered via SMS, and because it's so easy to create new voice over IP numbers, the system will only be available via mobiles, landlines, and VoIP will not be supported. The expanded controls for streamers were spurred by a serious uptick in abusive behavior against streamers on Twitch, particularly in the form of hate raids, in which bots flood stream chats with racism, homophobia, and other hateful language. That led to the rise of the hashtag TwitchYouBetter and the remarkably successful hashtag A Day Off Twitch campaign. That prompted Twitch to promise, quote, improved channel-level ban evasion detection and additional account improvements to help make Twitch a safer place for creators, end quote. It also brought legal action against 2 persistent hate raiders who have repeatedly evaded attempts to ban them. The reaction to the announcement seems broadly positive. Some users on Twitter expressed concerns about bot farms using dummy email addresses for verification or the potential negative impact on streamers' audiences, but most seem quite happy with the new feature. Quote, this is a huge step in the right direction, one follower tweeted in response. I've complained a lot about needing this, and credit where credit is due, great job on this, end quote. Valorant pro Anthony Vanity Malaspina was somewhat more to the point, quote, this is what the kids would call poggers, end quote. This is what the kids... I made fun of that this is what the kids say joke in my Dark Souls video. As the kids would say, oh, that's a terrible joke. I made that joke. Don't do a as the kids would say joke. They're bad.
every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm at college, I hear nothing but this is what the kids would say because I'm literally in a class full of kids. So,
Oh, as the kids would say, it's just like, Moody, we're not old. Like, I wish people would get it out their heads. It's like people in their 30s and 40s aren't old. God.
Amy, I'm older than two of my teachers.
I'm older than some of
That was
my
the
managers at my day job. That doesn't make me feel old. That just means I know better than them and I can boss them around.
Well, when it comes to my teachers. Anyway, back to this. See Ubisoft.
Like, you can do things. Like,
You can do things. I'm not saying this is perfect or
No,
anything
God,
like
no.
that. There's no doubt about it. This ain't the perfect thing or anything like that. But this is something. This is actual something. This is how you can do it. Yes, there's no doubt about it. Like we said when they said they were doing stuff last time, it's because they literally had a little down spike when they
did.
hashtag day off Twitch happened. Which for me,
Just took both
I'll
of us
say,
by
like,
surprise.
yeah. There's no doubt about it. Like, I didn't think it would do anything personally. I won't lie. I hold my hands up to that. I was literally thinking it's not going to do much. It's not. I didn't think that whatsoever because it was the biggest platform. It's the biggest streaming platform out there when it comes to streaming your games and everything.
As a former podcast co-host would say, pressure for change.
Yeah, pressure for change indeed. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, they're doing something. I hope this is a good start, and I hope it now moves forward and they do more and more and more because Twitch should be a safe place where you can just go and either become an incredibly famous streamer or just do it like what you and me do and just play games for the heck of it for dumb fun on a Saturday night with our Among Us friends, or whenever we play Fall Guys, or whenever we go and see Susan Smith in Phasmophobia again.
Well, like, yeah, we've got multiplayer games coming up that we want to play, like, with our friends and have our friends in the audience. Like, one of my favorite streams I ever did was my lockdown birthday in 2020, where I played Bloodborne for a laugh, thinking I was just going to get annihilated and get angry and everybody was going to laugh. And then it's like, everybody watched in real time as I, like, fucking fell in love with this game. And it was awesome. Like, it was tons of people. It was great. But, like, well, not tons for us. But, like, yeah, Twitch should just be that place where, like, you can make it a career if you want to make it a career. Like, I know people who stream full time, and that's awesome. Like, and I love that. But also just a place where, like, me and you can just fuck about in Phasmo or Fall Guys or Among Us and just have fun and, like, hang out with this nice little community we've built over the past year. Actually, it'd probably be 18 months at this point since we really, like, a community really started to form. But no, it's cool. But, like, hate rates are a big problem on Twitch, and, like, one of the things I've always said is, like, I'm glad that there's attention being brought to this now, but you and I both know, I think everybody who streams on Twitch, like, for some reason Twitch didn't know that this was a problem well before it hit, like, the news. Like, this happened all the time. All that happened was it got some attention, and then it got worse because it got the attention. So, like, It is nice that it's finally, stuff is starting to be done about it, and this isn't the end. This isn't the one fix that we all need, and now we can get on with the rest of our lives. This is a start. Credit where credit is due. It's a good start. Like, the whole thing of, like, just being able to make infinity accounts on one email address with no verification was obviously a problem. But at least they're fixing it. Like, so, yay.
Yay indeed. Yay indeed. This is a good start. One more Twitch, but this is a good start.
Yeah. I also like the fact. I also like the other changes. The channel owners and moderators can set verification requirements. So, like, if you can have it so that accounts under certain ages can't join chat, right? Like, oh, this account has only been around for 2 days. Just looking at the thing, 2 days. It's like, cool. No, I don't want that in my chat. It sucks for people who legitimately, like, will join Twitch and sign up to Twitch and do this and do that. But at the end of the day, it's protecting marginalized streamers and creators, and at a time when we vastly need that protection.
No doubt, yeah. There are, like I say, hits are going to get taken here, and it's just one of those things. Yeah, it sucks, like I say, for the people who are just legitimately going to be like, oh, I just want to watch you because you're awesome. Oh, this is my first time I'm creating an account. Oh, wait, I can't watch you because you say you have to have.
You can't chat, so you can still watch, but you won't be able to chat.
Yeah, I know, but no, yeah, that's like, but how?
Chatting is a big part of Twitch. Like,
yeah. But if you legitimately want to watch this person and you legitimately understand why they have this thing down, then you be patient enough to wait until your account says, let's say you have to have it 50 days. Let's just see whatever they do, whatever they want to put down.
Like 6 months seems to be the max. So let's just say they put it down as 6 months.
6 months.
Like, there's a reason that streamer's done that.
Yeah. And it's fair to say that, and it's fair for them to do that. So,
like, no one should be on the end of a. Sorry, Moody, I keep interrupting you.
You do it all the time, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, but it's because you take weird pauses, and then I go, "Oh, he's finished," and then he goes, "No," and then you go, "Buh, buh, buh, buh," and I'm like, "Oh no, what have I done?" And now I feel bad. I feel bad.
No,
I do.
Oh, I apologize. Yeah.
I feel bad about everything though.
Yeah, that's true.
We're playing a fun game in therapy at the moment. Is it trauma or is it autism? Who knows? But I have a journal that I have to write all of my feelings in now. So that's fun.
Indeed.
Yeah, like no one should have to be on the end of a hatred. Like that's just it's not a pleasant experience, and especially with like the frequency of hatreds there has been recently. Because as much as it has existed on Twitch for a long time, like it has gotten demonstrably worse recently, which is why the activity happened, which is why like this has happened, which is why a day off Twitch happened. Pressure for change, as Foxes would say. I miss Foxes.
I miss Foxes. I'll message you. You'll come back. We miss you.
Please come back. We miss you. We can change.
We can do it on a Monday instead.
Whoa. What if I just quit the podcast and it was just you and Foxes?
Oh God, we'd lose all our viewership.
And I just reviewed games. I was like, I'm done. Can't do this anymore. Anyway. Lost time. Xbox is making it easier to find accessible games in its stores. This is from Kate Sanchez over at The Verge. She writes, Xbox is making it easier to find accessibility information for games, according to an announcement from the company at its accessibility showcase. Games in the Microsoft Store will have accessibility feature tags so players with disabilities can make sure games have the features they need before buying or downloading them. These tags are appearing in-store for members of the Xbox Accessibility Insiders League, which is a fucking amazing name for something, starting today and will eventually roll out to all Xbox users. The tags address an issue commonly expressed by players with disabilities. They often have to do their own research to figure out which games they can play. Listing certain features in the store consolidates information that can be frustrating to track down, especially if it's not available on developer websites or in reviews. Publishers will also be able to link to additional information from the store, while the tag system is starting in the Microsoft Store. Xbox says they'll also start showing up on Xbox.com, the Xbox app on PC, and Xbox Game Pass apps in the coming months. Xbox says it plans to gather feedback from XAIL members over the next month before expanding the availability of the tags. Part of the fine-tuning for the tags involves determining specific sets of criteria that games need to meet in order to be labelled with each feature. A game with subtitles that can't be resized, for instance, wouldn't meet the bar for the subtitles options tag. The list of tags includes 20 features like narrated game menus, input remapping, and single-stick gameplay, and more could be added in the future based on feedback from players. There's also a new accessibility spotlight section in the store with games in different categories based on the accessibility features they have, like audio or visual. Search results will be filterable by feature in the coming months, according to Xbox. Xbox also announced several other features that it says will launch soon, including quick settings, which allow people to toggle accessibility features on or off without leaving a game or app, global color filters on Xbox Series X and S for people with color blindness to customize how colors are displayed across games, apps, and menus, night mode with adjustable filters and brightness, controller and power button light dimming and scheduling options, and a free gaming accessibility fundamentals course for developers launching in Microsoft Learn in late October. This is incredible. Like, all of this information is incredible. The fact that Xbox had an accessibility showcase is fucking outstanding as well.
Yep, no doubt about it. Well, accessibility is an important element in video games, ladies and gentlemen. Like, when we say things like, when it comes to like the Dark Souls and everything like that, like sometimes it's very inaccessible for players. It's because we want to play those games and everything. And like,
I want everyone to play them because then I get to talk to everybody. I get to
yeah.
annoy everybody about talking about Dark Souls then.
Hell yeah, you do. You want to have that engagement.
I do.
You want to have that positive chat and everything. And so it's like, what's what I want to do as well. Like, I want to play those games to go, hey, Amy, you know what?
I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, Amy. I feel the burn. And like, there's a game like what just came out, what you've just dropped a review for Deathloop. Apparently, the accessibility ain't the greatest
Awful.
in that either.
Absolutely atrocious. Like, the text is so small, and then you turn it up to the largest setting, and it's still tiny. And it's just like, that's the one thing that I noticed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm playing Tales of Arise at the moment, right? Great game, love it, fantastic. But like,
there's a review, it'll be out.
There's a review, it'll be out next week. It'll be a little while yet, but like, one of the things I'm gonna bring up in the review is like, when you're in battles, right? Like, every character in on the battlefield is always shouting all the time. Like, they're shouting all the moves that they do, and it's just a cacophony of fucking anime characters screaming all over and over, and it's just like, please shut up. Like, I can't figure out what's happening.
That's an anime in general.
Yeah. But like, you know, when like someone will shout like in Dragon Ball Z, right? Where like Goku will be like Kamehameha. But if you imagine that, but there's 4 of them, and they're doing Kamehamehas constantly because that's how Tales of Arise works. I can't tell what's happening on the battlefield because I can't tell what my characters are doing because they're all fucking yelling. And like, but it's partially an accessibility option for people who might have hearing difficulties, or people who have sensory overload difficulties, which I actually do. So Deathloop doesn't do a good job in accessibility at all. I always, like, when we talk about accessibility, I always pimp out a website called Can I Play That, who review games based solely on their accessibility. And also, Stephen Sale is a good person to follow on Twitter, because he talks a lot about games and whether they're accessible or not. But it's to see Microsoft take an initiative, take that information, and start to put it on store pages, like, is a fantastic step, because there's nothing worse than having to research, to do your own research, to figure out if you can play a game or not.
Yeah, accessibility is an incredible thing. Shout out to like Laura Kate Dale.
Yeah.
Laura Kate Dale, thank you very much. She does an incredible accessibility show on YouTube. Go and check her out as well. Like Jeff Sterling as well. Like they shout out and push for accessibility as well. Same goes for Stephen Taylor, like you brought up already. Like, this is an incredibly important issue that needs to be brought up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yay, Microsoft. Yay, Microsoft. Yay,
Microsoft. Like,
go on.
Nope, you first.
No, like, I was gonna say, like, PlayStation did an amazing thing last year when it came to like for all their exclusives, really,
their PlayStation Studios games.
Yeah, their accessibility was incredible. Like, someone could play The Last of Us Part 2 if they were blind. That's how that is amazing. That's incredible to know that they went so far to allow a person who is basically blind to be able to play that game. Absolutely. When I heard that, I was just like blown away by that. And to know that, basically, I would not be surprised that that's most of their games that are coming out if it's a
I
PlayStation
really
studio.
hope so.
Yeah, I think the accessibility would be a hard thing that they'll have to. I think getting over studio doesn't do it. If you're a PlayStation studio, you're going to be like, yo, why can't you just take what they have over in Naughty Dog
Yeah,
or Sucker Punch and everything like that? They have the codes, just get them already.
like this has
It's not
been
that
done.
simple, just so
Like,
you know. But
yeah. But it's like this has been done. Right, send 20 people to Naughty Dog and get them to show you what they did.
yeah,
Right? Like, yeah, because you're right. It's not simple. Nothing about video game development is simple. But like the knowledge can be shared, and that's one cool thing about the games industry is like people don't mind sharing this kind of stuff.
they do not mind sharing their stuff whatsoever.
No,
They want to
yeah,
actively want to share it.
like Microsoft at the end there, we were talking about it. Like, get a free gaming accessibility fundamentals course for developers launching on Microsoft Learn later this month.
Unless you're Warner Brothers, who want to keep the Nemesis system to themselves.
Yeah, well, we don't talk about that because Amy gets angry. Um, this is phenomenal. This is fantastic. Like, we're both big champions of accessibility here. Because the more people that get to play games, the more cool conversations we can have about games with people. Yeah. And we talk a lot about difficulty, difficulty settings and difficulty options because like that's our thing. Obviously, like we talk about and champion everything else we just mentioned in this news story. But we talk about it as sort of like more academically because we don't need those things ourselves. But we still champion them. It's just that we obviously focus on things that are like, wheelhouse isn't the right word, but I can't think of the right word, so I'm going to stick with that.
I'm on my Twitter and I've just seen a friend of mine literally tag a glitch from
eFootball. Yeah, from eFootball.
The character is running. It's literally running like if you were a ninja of Naruto.
Naruto running, yeah, so it. Woo.
That's the greatest thing. I kind of want to play this now, just for that, but I won't.
It's free.
That is true. It's free.
What if we both downloaded it and streamed it and played it against each other and just watched all of the magnificent bugs and glitches happen on the stream?
Okay, we can talk about this off screen.
Like the opposite of accessibility. Like, this game's broken. Let's play it. Yeah, this is fantastic. All hats off to Microsoft. They've been absolutely killing it with stuff like this for years now. And it's fucking fantastic to see. Let's move on. Sony acquires port studio Bluepoint Games. For real this time. This is from Kenneth Shepard over at Fanbyte, who writes, as the company accidentally revealed, then deleted back in June, Sony has acquired Bluepoint Games, adding another company to its ever-growing list of PlayStation studios. Bluepoint Games has acted primarily as a porting and remastering studio and has worked with Sony more than any other company since its founding in 2006. This has included projects like Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royales via port, and most recently the remake of Demon's Souls on PlayStation 5. I'm not going to read the quote from the PlayStation blog. I'm going to skip it. In a follow-up interview with IGN, Thrush said Bluepoint is working on an original game, which will be a departure from the studio's usual work on remasters and remakes. He also acknowledged that this has been a gradual evolution for the series, having gone from ports to remasters to remakes and now working on its own original content. Quote, our next project, we're working on original content right now. We can't talk about what this is, but that's the next step in the evolution for us. The transition from remasters to remakes was to test ourselves and push ourselves harder for the next step, end quote. Thrush said, noting the team was at about 15 people during the production of the original God of War collection, right now is at about 70 employees, and grew to 95 people at its peak during Demon's Souls with outsourcing work too. Moody, before you jump in, I'm going to continue and read the next news story because I feel like it's all relevant all at once. Because PlayStation says it's open to further acquisitions following Bluepoint purchase, which is from Tom Ivan over at VGC. He writes, PlayStation Studios head Herman Hulst has said Sony Interactive Entertainment remains open to further acquisitions following a number of recent studio purchases. On Thursday, SIE announced it had bought Bluepoint Games. The move followed the company's recent acquisitions of Returnal developer Housemarque, PC port specialist Nix's Software, and Firesprite, a UK-based developer established by former members of SIE Studio Liverpool. PlayStation now has 16 internal teams. The studio's boss, Hulst, isn't ruling out further additions. Quote, we are all open always to building new relationships or bringing people in-house, but only if we adhere to the quality-first mentality and the right kind of innovative content, new experiences, diverse experiences, end quote. Yeah, that'll do. Bluepoint Games, who could have seen this coming? Apart from everybody, because they accidentally said it in June.
The worst kept secret. This has basically been the worst kept secret since
Fable
was revealed. Yeah, since Fable, basically, yeah. That my PlayStation bought or acquired Bluepoint and everything. Yeah, we all knew this was going to happen eventually. Like, it was like, I can't think of a little people were like surprised. Wait, why didn't you you just had a thing 2 weeks ago? Why didn't you just talk about it then? But no, we don't want to.
Yeah, maybe they were finalizing a contract or something.
Possibly, I don't know. Yeah, but either way. Congratulations to Bluepoint. They've been an incredible studio for them. Like, they did the port for the Uncharted trilogy or quadrilogy or whatever.
The 3 games, right?
Yeah, 3 games, which was absolutely fantastic.
It was.
They obviously did incredible success with Demon's Souls. It's arguably made their best game since it was for PlayStation 5 when it was
Demon's Souls is, I mean, it's Bluepoint's best game, but like, it's such a fantastic reimagining of the original Demon's Souls, because it goes beyond just being like, hey, we upscaled it, the original game. It's like they rebuilt that game from the ground up, and you can feel it, because like Demon's Souls obviously kickstarted a hugely successful spiritual series. We'll call it a spiritual series for From Software, but like, it's not a great game to go back. Like, it's just not. Sorry, PS3 purists, but Bluepoint did such an amazing job recreating that game for PlayStation 5. And like, they've done a lot of good work. Like you say, the Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection. That's how I played the original Uncharted games. Like, I played them in that collection because I never had a PS3. So like, that was me playing.
I always forget that. Amy.
That was me playing catch up to before Uncharted 4 came out. So yeah, that's how I did. That's how I experienced them. They're fantastic studios filled with fantastically talented people. And this is awesome. Do we think PlayStation are actually done, or do you think Herman's just saying that because, you know, you can't ever rule it out?
No,
that will be done.
I don't think they're done. No. I know you said no and everything like that, but I will not be surprised if we hear they acquire Square Enix. I know, but and it's a fool's choice when I say that, but if that ever comes out, Amy, I will not be surprised. I'll literally like at all for that. But they aren't like going for the only thing that makes me pause for that, because it's not just Square Enix, that's multiple studios. That when it comes to thinking, like it's when it comes to them, they literally go one studio. It's always just one studio. It's not a publisher or developer, like a huge developer with many studios whatsoever, like what Microsoft did with Bethesda, and everything, and other ones. But either way,
what PlayStation are doing is they're working with studios first to like, and then when they make hit games like Returnal, like Demon's Souls, going, you know what, we should let's make this official, right? Like, so like, look at who PlayStation are partnering with. See what they're doing, and there's your list. There's your list of potential. No, not just like getting fucking exclusives. Otherwise, like with like Deathloop. Oh, Sony buys Xbox. Whoa.
That would be the pull off of the century. That loan to get that would have been, that's a lot of money. That's a lot. That's a huge loan to take
That would
off.
be, I swear to God, if that happened, that would be the greatest podcast episode of all time. But like, no, it's like look at who they're partnered with right now. That's your list of potential PlayStation acquisitions, because that's what they've been doing with Insomniac, with Housemarque, with Bluepoint.
Yeah. There's no doubt about obviously at the top of the head right now, Poise would be possibly Supermassive. Like they've done really a lot of things for them.
Yeah, like Supermassive and Quantic Dream. Like I know I don't want to,
Dream
like they've seemed to have moved away.
Happened,
Yeah, they
would have happened, but they don't want to.
They've both those studios have moved in the opposite direction, where it's like they were doing stuff for Sony and they were partnered with PlayStation, but now they're not. So.
Yeah.
I'd say the same with Remedy as well, but like they partnered with Epic for their next two games, so don't know what's going on there.
Sony have a great relationship with Epic.
It's true, but I feel like if PlayStation had the faith in, I'm just gonna say it, if PlayStation had the faith in Alan Wake and Alan Wake 2, they would have paid for it themselves and not let Epic pay for it. Because it's Alan Wake. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm done being coy. It's Alan Wake and Alan Wake 2. It's one of them's coming out this week.
I'm just to check a couple of things out here.
Okay. So, I mean, that doesn't rule anything. I like PlayStation could be doing anything in the background. Could be trying to buy Platinum. They could be trying to buy From Software. They could be trying to buy anything. Like the reason why PlayStation's moves look smaller than Xbox's is because Xbox had a problem at the beginning of the last generation. We talked about it a lot on this podcast in the back in the day, which was they didn't really have any studios to make their first party games for them, so they went out and bought shitloads really fast because that's what they needed to do. But PlayStation have never needed to do that.
Yeah.
So they haven't. They've just they've picked up studios that are doing really great work for them, bringing them into the PlayStation family and giving them the resources to make bigger games. Like Bluepoint are making their own IP. That's fantastic.
It's going to be interesting, no doubt about it. For me, I don't know if it's an acquisition, but for me, I think it's a proper maybe a merger, like with Epic. I could see that happening because they have a great relationship with them, and maybe it's a merger in some sort of way.
That would be wild. Epic is huge.
Yeah, but I've just checked the net worths right now. Sony net worth is bigger than Epic, so but Epic is
Epic's
creeping up.
Epic's creeping up. And what you got to remember is Sony's a multi industry company, right? And Epic makes games and game engines.
Yeah.
So the fact that Epic's creeping up on Sony when Sony makes TVs and cameras and lenses and movies and consoles and games, that's impressive.
That is wild. There's no doubt about it.
Epic makes Fortnite. That's it. That's it. Okay. Let's start being... Okay, I got this. I know what we're doing. Next news story. We'll stick with PlayStation. God of War Ragnarok delay may have been due to actors' surgery. This is from Ben Reeves over at Game Informer. He writes, God of War Ragnarok is one of Sony's most anticipated releases. The sequel to 2018's mega hit was initially teased about a year ago, and we initially expected Ragnarok to release sometime this year. Well, I don't know why. However, in June, Sony confirmed that the title was getting pushed to 2022. Several factors likely led to this delay, but Kratos' voice actor Christopher Judge recently took to Twitter claiming responsibility. In reality, it's hard to say that Judge was entirely responsible for Ragnarok's delay. Voice actors don't know every detail in a game's production pipeline, and factors such as the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic also likely played a part in Sony's rescheduling. Even so, it's interesting to hear Judge's perspective on the matter. Chris Judge, I know you watch this podcast. Number one, you're awesome. I love you so much. Never change your fashion sense. Number two, you had no part in God of War's delay.
He was just doing his duty, saving the world like he did for 10 seasons with the SGC and everything like that. He's just doing his duty and everything.
Yeah.
But No, I agree with you. This game was
It's getting delayed either way.
it was always going to get it wasn't going to hit this 2021. Like I have more faith in you in the game to hit 2022. I know you do not, which it's either way. But like I say, if it gets delayed to 2023, that's okay as
fine.
well.
Have
I'm
you
still
seen
can't wait for
2022?
That's the thing about it. Yeah, I don't mind it going to 2023 because by that time I might have had a PlayStation 5 by then.
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong at all. I'm not wrong. I might have a PlayStation
Like every
5 by
day,
then.
I am so grateful to past Amy for like going to the effort to securing a PS5 on launch day, because you know what? It's true, there haven't been that many PS5 exclusive games, right? But
You are ready.
it's fucking October 2021, and it's still nearly impossible to get one. So I'm like, thank you, past
Yeah.
Amy. You really fucking came through
Yeah,
for
but
once.
it's all right. I'm getting I'm getting Series X next month.
You
so
are.
it's
You're
all right.
getting a cool Master Chief Series X.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Christopher Judge, like what probably happened is he probably had to go and get the surgery, had to take some time off of work, and the delay got announced at roughly around about the same time. So Chris Judge just put 2 and 2 together and got 7. Like that's just speculation on my part, but I can see that. I can see that being the chain of events. And bless him for like taking that on himself. But like no, God of War was always getting delayed.
I don't deny there's no doubt about it that they boys were hoping to hit 2021, but
Oh yeah, of
at the end of
course.
the day,
Yeah.
they like if the pandemic never happened and everything like that, we might
God
have
of
had God
War
of War
and
Ragnarok this year.
Horizon would have
Yeah.
both been out. It's probably is,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Like so many of the games that we're like going, oh my god, look at 2022 would have come out this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Elden Ring and Pokemon probably would have come out this year.
Yeah. I might have been smashing Fantasy Critic even easy with Elden Ring.
I feel like I feel like if the pandemic hadn't have happened, we all would have made different decisions within Fantasy Critic.
Oh hell yeah. Hell yeah. You would have had Hollow Knight last year.
Yeah, Hollow Knight would have already came out. It would have added to the 7 million point score I got last year. Like, I did so well last year. I'm doing so badly this year. Moody, let's do a new story that I almost put this number one because this has become a running joke of podcast titles because of how many times this has happened.
Oh,
Nintendo
no,
denies existence of 4K Switch. This is from James Batchelor over at GamesIndustry.biz. He writes, rumors of a 4K-ready Nintendo Switch continue to circulate. But while the platform holder usually stays quiet, it is today categorically denied such a device exists. Bloomberg has yet again reported on anonymous sources claiming that a 4K-capable Switch, which has come to be known by many as the Switch Pro, is still in development. Employees from 11 games developers around the world, including Star Wars Hunters developer Zynga, say they are in possession of development tools for the device. It's also claimed that the ongoing wait for the rumoured Switch Pro and the lack of 4K capability in the upcoming Switch OLED model is due to component shortages caused by the pandemic. Nonetheless, the report claims such a system is still in the works and is due for release late next year at the earliest. Nintendo responded to the report via its corporate Twitter account, quote, a news report on September 30th, 2021 falsely claims that Nintendo is supplying tools to drive game development for a Nintendo Switch with 4K support. To ensure correct understanding among our investors and customers, we want to clarify that this report is not true. We also want to restate that, as we announced in July, we have no new plans for any new model other than the Nintendo Switch OLED model, which will launch on October 8th, 2021, end quote. This is largely the same statement Nintendo made earlier this year, which was also in response to a Bloomberg report. Since the initial publication, Zynga spokeswoman Sarah Ross told Bloomberg that the company, quote, does not have a 4K developer kit from Nintendo, end quote. Jason, leave Nintendo alone. Stop posting this story every 3 fucking months. Like, he posted this story with less than a week until the OLED model came out. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, just leave it. Even if there is one, Nintendo aren't going to admit it because they're trying to sell their new model. Like, why do you keep coming back to this?
I'll just be frank.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore when it comes to this whole
This
thing.
is what I'm talking
The
about.
amount
It's just
of
like...
rumors and craziness when it comes to this. It's just
Like-
it's all over the place. Do I think there's going to be a 4K Nintendo
Yes.
Switch one day? Yes, I agree with that. But was the reveal of the OLED model a bit wah?
But it
for
was
a lot of
only-
people? I can appreciate that.
But it only fell flat like that because
Because of all of this.
yeah.
Yes, I agree with you there. It's I really don't care anymore.
I never cared in the first place. Like, this
Yeah.
is the thing, right? Like, when a 4K Switch comes out, if I've got a 4K monitor or TV by then, sure, I might take the plunge on a 4K Switch because it's a cool idea. And I would love to see Breath of the Wild 2 in 4K or Pokemon or Arceus
Yes.
in 4K because I think those games would look incredibly beautiful. But, like, we just did this in June, and it turns out you were completely fucking wrong. Please stop. When I can sit here on this poxy little podcast and say, no, that's not happening. You're incorrect. To a video game journalist like Jason Schreier, you need to stop banging the drum. It's time to stop. It's time to move on. We did this in June, and I thought it was dumb then.
I know what I'm picking for my prediction for 2022 next year.
And you know what? Like,
I'm going to say at least 3 stories of a 4K Switch.
It's got like Nintendo's stock price went down over this. like because they've got a fucking model coming out, and now it's like, oh, people gonna buy this model because hey, guess what? Why would they? Because there's gonna be a 4K Switch Pro coming out at some point in the future. Because it's just like, I don't normally defend the corporation, but at this point, I'm just like, please just leave them alone. Like, just let them get on with it. I don't care, and I don't think a lot of people care right now. Like, until Nintendo themselves say it, what's the point? What's the point in this? Like, that's what's really starting to frustrate me with it. It's like, what is the point in continuously pointing out, which, yeah, you said it. Is there going to be a 4K Switch at some point in the future? Of course there is. That just goes without saying. There will be a 4K Switch at some point in the future. But what's the point in continuously going, look, this is going to be a thing? Why? What's the point?
That's me pretending to click.
Stop it. Not you. I mean, I'm talking directly because I don't know that Jason Schreier wrote this article, but it's a Bloomberg article, and Jason wrote the last ones. I'm addressing Jason directly. Please stop it. If I wake up in December and I'm reading about a fucking 4K Switch that's definitely going to be revealed at the Nintendo Direct, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to get on this podcast again and just be like, stop. I'm going to lose it. Octoplush will definitely be grumpy that day.
Let's just be frank here. By the time this comes out, 8K is going to be a thing, and everyone's going to be screaming for the 8K Nintendo Switch.
I mean, 8K exists. It's just...
I know, but it's not really a thing right now.
Stupendously expensive.
Yeah. So like this, so this will be 4K will be out in like the 4K Switch will be out in like 4 years, and then by that time 8K will be a thing. It'll be 8K Xboxes, 8K PlayStation 5s, and all like that. And then Nintendo will be like, "We'll see you in 10 years without 8K Switch."
They'll release their 4K Switch, and then before Jason has a chance to hit publish on his 8K Switch Triple Pro rumors, he'll just mysteriously disappear. Donkey Kong was seen hanging around outside his house hours before his disappearance was reported.
We don't know why.
Nintendo were pissed, you can tell, because Zynga came out and went, we do not have a 4K developer kit from Nintendo.
Well, they're sick of it, aren't they? You can.
I mean, I'm sick of it. I can only imagine how Nintendo feels.
Yeah. It's like at the end of the day, my thing is, it's like, they'll show it when they want to show it.
Yeah.
All right.
It doesn't matter right now.
You don't get to dictate when they want to show you something.
Yeah.
They dictate that. So
Like, it's the
get
same
the
thing
hell over it.
in a way. It's the same thing about game leaks, right? Like, like how many game leaks have we seen, right? Like, this game exists, great. Like, but like, and I'm not really that bothered that like a AAA publisher's marketing campaign got screwed up because somebody leaked a game. But at the same time, like when I read a leak, like I am struck with the thing of like, and I get it, it's clicks, but like I am struck with the thing of like, but like I don't care because I don't see like at least when they reveal the game, I get to see the game, even if it's just a CG trailer or an announcement trailer or whatever. Like I don't know, like I'm just weird like that. I'm not really that bothered about knowing something before I'm supposed to know it.
I don't care about spoilers whatsoever anymore.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not a spoiler
that.
person.
Doesn't bother me whatsoever. I can literally get told a film that's out now and how it ends. I won't care whatsoever, or even a game whatsoever. It doesn't bother me whatsoever anymore. And like we always know pretty much that a game is coming in some sort of way. The only thing that annoys me is that when I see clicks, a site put up a thing of saying this is going to be there, I was thinking, well,
okay,
all right.
Like, why did you tell me that?
Why are you telling me that? Yeah, I don't need to know that. And you're just getting clicks for no
Maybe
reason.
Maybe that's the thing. Like people have been talking about how like, oh, E3 is on its ass because the conferences aren't as good anymore. It's like, well, maybe if you stopped telling us 80% of the fucking conference before we went into the conference, we would actually have a good time.
yeah. So like,
it's impossible to get surprised anymore.
Yeah, I respect the people who like literally say I'm staying off Twitter for like 4 days of E3. It's like,
I could do that.
Well done, good for you. And you get all that surprises. I'm over the moon for you. But yeah, like it's a finding that right balance, and it's just like it also it hurts that there's too many news sites out there, man. Too many news sites out there. It's crazy.
I mean, yeah, like the rumors I've seen are wild. Like you've got to be very careful about like where you even consume your news from because like there are sites out there that will just make up the craziest shit.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
About Nintendo Switches.
But you know what isn't crazy, I mean?
Games out next week? This week.
Yeah. Coming out, ladies and gentlemen, we have Alan Wake Remastered at long last. The remake or remaster that Amy has been calling for. Now, as she's got that one, I want my Dino Crisis, please. Even though it's a different developer. PC, PlayStation, and the Xboxes. In this award-winning cinematic action thriller, troubled author Alan Wake embarks on a desperate search for his missing wife, Alice, following her mysterious disappearance from the Pacific Northwest town of Bright Falls. He discovers pages of a horror story he has supposedly written, but he has no memory of it. Extobia, I think. PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch, explore and fight your way through a crashed human spaceship infested with unforgiving hordes of aliens in this retro-inspired first-person shooter featuring crisp, colorful pixel art and electronic music. Uncover new areas and become more powerful in combat with exciting weapon upgrades and power-ups. Jet, the Far Shore, invites you on an interstellar expedition to carry out a future for a people haunted by oblivion. In this cinematic action adventure, as Scout Mia, be the first to deploy the Mystic Ocean planet and take the helm of a jet and explore the vast unknown. Skim low over waves, roar up coastlines, and caviar through all otherworldly woods. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, PC, PlayStation, the Xbox, and the Switches. Go bananas with your favorite monkey gang in the ultimate Super Monkey Ball adventure. Vargas, the river of the Riven realms, PC. Embark on the perilous journey across the realm forsaken by the gods and devastated by the arcane capitalism. Accompanied by a hardy crew, you must trade, fight, and explore your way to success as the leader of a traveling company in Vargas, an award-winning turn-based post-apocalyptic fantasy RPG. Metroid Dread, Switch, on an alien, on a remote alien planet. A mechanical menace waits that will push even the galaxy's greatest bounty hunter to her limits. Join Samus Aran on her deadliest 2D adventure yet in Metroid Dread on Nintendo Switch. And finally, Night Ravine PC is a puzzle adventure game in which a child must solve the mystery behind the distortion of his house. Explore puzzle-filled environments and discover strange creatures living in the house as you reach the truth behind of what looks like a bizarre nightmare. And that is it for the games out this week. There's some interesting games there. You got like Alan Wake Remastered.
Alan Wake Remastered. Like, I'm really looking forward because we talked about this when Joseph and Carl were here. I am really looking forward to people playing Alan Wake who never played it, like got to play it the first time around. Like not necessarily like I'm not gonna play it. Like I played it earlier this year when I captured footage of it from my control, right respective. And I've got other games to play, but like the idea that like say you for example could play Alan Wake Remastered and you've never played it before. That's cool to me. Joseph's never played it before. Like, to see Joseph play it for the first time, like, I'm gonna relive it vicariously through you guys.
Yeah.
Transport myself back to 2010. Me and Keith, played it all in one day. He came down to visit me on Leeds, and we just played Alan Wake. One of the days that he was down. It was awesome. It was awesome. Night Reverie sounds cool. Obviously, Metroid is Metroid, right? Like I saw Night Reverie. There was a Game Developers of Color showcase last week on the same day as the Nintendo Direct, with some really cool looking games in it. Night Reverie was one of them. Might give that a look. We'll see. See what happens.
We will see.
It's time for OpenCritic Head to Head, really. This is the game we play every week, where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. Whoever guesses closest to the score at the time of recording gets 1 point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. Last week we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of Lemon Escape, but there are no reviews yet. So you might think, oh, that's anticlimactic, but ages ago, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of In Sound Mind, which got delayed until Tuesday, just gone. So that has review scores now, so we can announce those results. I guessed it would get a 77. Moody guessed it would get a 69. Fox's guessed it would get a 78. At the time of recording, In Sound Mind has an OpenCritic average of 74, which gives Amy a point, which puts the scores at Amy 19, Moody 16, Fox's 6, Keith 10, with 2 draws. This week, we're trying to guess the OpenCritic average of Metroid Dread. First new 2D Metroid game for fucking ages. Always been so long. What do you think, Moody? Oh, he's thinking. I didn't hear that, sorry.
90.
Oof. See, I'm in two minds, right? Because it's like, this could go either way, right?
It's going to go 88, I won't lie. If it's the same
88.
There's no doubt about that.
It's going to be 88.
I have this feeling it's a Nintendo game. It's the only really big Nintendo game that's coming out this year. I know I'm pushing Pokemon aside there.
They're remasters though. So yeah. This is the big new game, right?
Yeah, this is the big new game, and if this was like the one game everyone was hyped for after the Nintendo's thing at E3, So yeah, I think this could be the best rated game this year.
Is this going to be the game that finally breaks 90?
Yeah, at least stays in it.
I'll tell you what, I've hung my hat on that twice now this year, where I've been like, this is going to do it. This is going to be the one that breaks the barrier. And so far, they've all been 88. I'm going to go with 84.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah.
Thought you would have gone 88. I don't know why.
No.
I was thinking I've leave that number first. She's
Well,
gonna say 88, didn't she?
I've been feeling this since E3, like where I feel like this could go either way.
Yeah.
Where it could be like, I don't think it's going to be a bad game. What I mean by that is this could be, like you say, best game of the year, or it could be like just a bit not quite there. If that makes sense. Like, it's a great game as opposed to an amazing game, is where I think like the two things are gonna go. So like, you going high just made me go, well, I'll put my bet in the other direction. Like, I'll put my bet in the other way, and we'll see what happens. I could squeeze you and go 89 and just, but like, there's no fun. That's not a fun way to play OpenCritic head to head, I
I'm
think.
not here to have fun. I'm here to win, and I need to catch
Well,
some points.
I'm here to have fun. It's why I lost last year, but it seems to be that tactic seems to be working for me this year. Like going 88 because every game gets 88 on Psychonauts 2 and Psychonauts 2 getting an 88. Like, I wasn't being serious, but that's what happened. So yeah, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Words About Games podcast. Thank you very much for watching. If you've watched over at youtube.com/wordsaboutgamesuk, thanks very much if you've listened on other podcast services. I'm going to leave it with Moody to play us out.
Oh, smeg.
You did it again, didn't you? For God's sake, I do this every week. Like, this has become a thing.
It has come a thing. I apologize.
That's okay.
I've been in an record. Okay. Here's some positive energy to wrap up, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone. You are a rare gem, an exclusive, a limited edition. There is only one of you. Have an amazing weekend. Remember, you are awesome.
Oh, thank you, Mary. Say bye.
I was talking to them, but okay.
Oh,
Hey, bye.
Like that was literally. I was literally. You made Octopussy smile.
Oh, yay!
Yay.
It was all at you, Amy, because I love you so much.
Oh, I love you too. Don't make me cry on a podcast. It's embarrassing. Bye.
Jazz hands.
No,
The boys from the dwarf.